Welcome back to a brand new episode of Mastering Programming. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how you can create a tabs bar like the one you're viewing right now, or also the one that you can see and use on YouTube. Now, in order to be able to follow up with this tutorial, you will simply need to have Xcode 11.1 installed, which I believe is the most recent version, but not the beta version. This is the first original release. Now, just a suggestion, I would always come here and I would enable the canvas, and that way you can always see what you're working on live. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed my intro. Now let's get straight into it. So I will be leaving the simulator open so we can kind of reference to it and see where we're up to and what we need to complete. Now I understand some of these animations might not be necessary for some of the viewers, so I will not explain exactly how they go in the first section of the episode. Instead, I will be explaining how just to do the tabs view and customize it, and then for the second part of the episode, maybe whoever wants to see it can stick around and see how you can do these really cool animations. Let's get started. Now, like I said, please enable your canvas so you can see the changes that we're going to have. And straight away, what I'll do is I'll be removing the text hello world. We don't need that. And you can always type in the code from inside of here, or you can always, what I will do right now, come to the plus sign and you can search for the thing that you want to add. So I'll go tabs or tab view, and I'm going to simply add it here. And straight away, let's wait until there's no more errors. And straight away, you can see here, let me just zoom in a little bit, that you get a tabs view bar straight away. And in fact, and this is actually working, if you run this, and I hope it doesn't take too much time, and if you run this, you'll realize that you can even switch between it. But, although you can change, for example, the text inside of here and say, something like, I don't know, dog or whatever, and it will actually change. You don't want that. You want full customization. Oh, it changed. You want full customization of the icons. And to do that, just a few pieces of code, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So let's start by coming to the text, and we will actually remove whatever is inside of here. Now, inside of here, I'm going to give us some space so we can have a lot of space to work with, and I'm going to type in image like that, and I'm going to put two brackets just like this. Now, in order to use the icons, you can simply come here and say system, sorry for that, image, and you can simply come and type in system, and I'm just going to wait for the auto completion. And all you need to do here is simply type in something like AR kit and watch the magic. Straight away, you have an AR kit right there as your icon. Now we can come and you want some text underneath it so people can understand what this icon means or where does it lead to, and we can say text, and inside of here, sorry for that, inside of here we can say AR. Now watch, straight away this is updated to AR. Now let's say you want to see a lot of icons and you want to know which icon it is instead of memorizing the name. Well, on the Apple developer website, I will be linking that in the description. You can download this file, and what this does is it has 1,500 different icons that you can use, all for free, and you can even customize this. Now you can come here and you can say thin, or you can say light, or you can say regular or medium to change how they look, but you can pretty much add anything. So let's see our first tab, and it's the play tab. Now to look for it, I'll simply type in game, and I think it's this controller. Yes, it is. Now take note of the name of this image or this icon, and it's called game controller. Pretty easy. So all we're gonna do is come here and we're gonna type game controller and watch the magic. It straight away changes to a game controller. Now I think in the simulator here we had play as text, so I'll also be changing that. Let's type in play and you can see it changes. Now notice how here we have 3 tabs. So I will straight away add another extra tab rather than having a difference between that, and then we'll continue customization. Now let's first remove all this empty space because we don't need it. This one as well. And something I would like to change is I always like to make this one 0 and keep this one as 1. Ooh, crap. Sorry, and keep this one as 1. That way it's just more uniform. Now straight away, just like we did in the last time, let's remove the text, give us some space to work with, and let's just copy this line of code. I'm gonna copy it. In fact, let's copy these 2 lines of code and put it inside of the zigzaggy brackets. And straight away, you will also, let's just highlight it so we can indent it properly, like this. And straight away, you realize, what is it saying? Oh, there we go. All right. Straight away, you realize that it says play as well. Now, I don't want it to be play. I want it to be exactly like this. So we'll put watch. And where is it? Let's remove this. And let's bring up our collection of icons. And I'm gonna type in TV. And you can see, let's see which TV we used. We used that one, and it's simply called TV. So all I'm going to do is inside of this. So sometimes I hate technology. We're gonna type in TV, and straight away this changes to the TV icon that we have right here. Now I will also change the the word underneath it from play to watch. In fact, this should be a capital W, and we'll keep this as watch. And straight away, you realize that the app is starting to come together. It's starting to look exactly like what we have here. But notice how there is a difference here. And that's because we have 2 items, while on the right side, we have 3 items. So I will straight away add a 3rd item. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste this under here. And let's move this to 2. So now we have the first tab, which is at position 0, second tab at position 1, and third tab at position 3. And as you can see, this changed from 2 different tabs, items, to 3. Now, obviously, this is the third one, which is that one, and let's change it straight away to this icon so that we keep it consistent. So I'll do that by coming right here. Actually, let's bring up the icon, and that is a share button. So I'm going to type in share, and I think it's that one. So let's just say it says square dot and dot arrow up. I'll actually keep this on the right so that I don't forget it. And I will come here, and I'm gonna change it from TV to square dot and dot up. Was that all? Square dot and dot arrow. Oh, sorry. So that's where the mistake is. One thing I don't like is that you actually have to type it exactly the same. And when there is 1500, you're bound to do a mistake. So I hope they found a better way for you to use this. Now, anyway, straight away you realize that now the tabs are actually exactly the same. We have the play button, we have the watch button, and the share button. Now, even if we actually click play, right now you will be able to click on them. Now, obviously, there isn't any views like what you're seeing here, and we'll get to that in a second. But before that, let me just change the color of the tinting. So right now, it's on blue, but I want it to be green just to give it that customization. So all I'm going to do, first of all, let's make sure it looks good. So we would press Command A to highlight everything, and then press Control I, and that way everything is put in a nice kind of like position or kind of look. Now we're gonna come at the bottom where this bracket, where when you press on it, it highlights this, so all of the tab view, and we're gonna type in dot accent. Come on. And inside of here, I'm going to say color dot green. And notice the magic. Straight away, the tinting changes from blue to green, and this will work regardless of what you press on. I'm sure you guys like this. Anyway, let's continue. Now, I understand, I personally like this color of the tab, but what if you want it to be purple or green or something like that? I know we don't have that here, but I just can't help it but show you. All we're going to do is simply come here, and we're going to say, so I actually already wrote it, and it's init UI tabbar dot appearance the background color dot gray, and this makes the color of the tab gray. Now you can always come here, and you can type in something like red, and this will probably cause some problems, but just takes a bit of time. And there you go. It changes from color gray to color red. Now I like to keep it just for this application. I would like to keep it gray, but you can pick any color you want. And let's press resume again just to make sure we're back on track. And this will change to gray. Now notice how here I have something called tab view selected selection. Now what this does is, let's say you want the app to always open on the watch button and not the play button. What you need to do is simply come here and say selected. And what selected is actually the variable I created at the top here. Sorry, which I actually created wrong. It needs to be inside the struct. So over here, and we have an issue. Right. All right. Sorry for that. It didn't need to be inside the view. I just needed to put a $sign like this. That's really all it was. And now this will work. So now what this does is selected is equal to the number 0. So now the tab view always knows that when you run this, it should always start on the tab 0. Now let's say I come here and say 2. This will always open. This app will always run on this tab or this tab, depending on what number you put. So this is 0, this is tab 1, and this is tab 2. But for this app, I would like to keep it on tab 0 and obviously put this down. In fact, let's highlight, Control I, and now everything looks nice. So now that's actually it for customizing the tabs view. And if we resume, you can see that this is, and hit run, you can see that this is always going to work. You can actually add as many items inside of here as you want. And as you can see, we have the exact same with the exact same color here. Now, this is it for customizing it, but if you would like to stick more to know how you can include these views, stick around. All right. So now that we're done with the customization, let's actually get started with adding some views. Now, for this tutorial, I decided that I will show you how you can add 3 different kind of views. So first of all, I would like to show you how you can simply type it just like we're doing here, but customize it to have this. And then for the second tab, I will actually copy or like navigate to a second view, which is the one that I already built here. It's a completely different view, and we will navigate to it. And third, for the watch button, I will show you how you can write it in this file, but manage to extract it as a subview. That way, this can be clean and tidy. So to start us off, let's just give us some spaces. And let's come to the first tab and remove this text. And instead, replace it with the text that we have here. So let's come here and say, I am the first view. And as you can see, it updates live. Next, what I will do is I would like to change the frame. So give it a frame so we can make it of a color red. And to do that, I'll simply type in frame. Sorry, I'll type in dot frame. And I'll select the one with the width, height, and alignment. And for the width, I'm gonna go ahead and type in 300. For the height, I will also give it a 300. And for alignment, I will go with center. Now, as you can see, there's now a frame, but it doesn't have that red color. So all we need to do for this is simply type in dot, and we can type in background, and inside of here, I will say color dot red. And that's it. That's actually all we need to do for this first tab. Now, as always, I'll highlight all, Control I, and now everything looks a little bit more tidy. Not tidy enough. And there we go. Now for the next view, this one, I would like to do something different. I would like to make sure that when someone presses on this icon, we are actually navigating to this view. This is a completely separate view. Now I will not get into detail about how I made this view, but all I will show, all we will need to do is somehow navigate to this. Now, just note that the name of this file is called SwiftUI view. Now all I'll need to do is come back here And instead of having all of this information, I will remove this. And all I need to do is simply type in Swift, and why isn't it showing? Yep, UI view, and then the brackets. Now notice how this is the name of my struct file, my struct view. I'm not copying the name of the actual file, which is SecondView. I'm only copying this name. And this allows me to actually navigate to this, or like show this file. Now I'll show you by simply running this and going to watch. And as you can see, now this view in this file is completely navigated to. Even if I press on it, everything inside of that view will work because this is that full view. So we're done with that. Now we're up to the last part, which is the watch. Now the watch is actually an easy part, and the reason why I did this is not to confuse you or anything, but it's just to show you how you can make this file look much better, how you can make it look much more presentable. Because sometimes, for example, in here, we're creating a lot of code or writing a lot of code in order to make this phrase behave the way it is. And we don't want all of that to be written here. Now, let me show you how you can do that and actually make it clean, although everything will be written in this same file. Now to start us off, I'll come here, and instead of saying tab content 2, I will change to I know it's sorry for that. It's cool, which is the exact same phrase we have right here. Also, let me just navigate to the watch so we can see our stuff changing on the spot. Let's move here, and that's okay. We can stop now. Okay. All right, let's move here and let's just leave it like this. So now we have, I know it's cool. Now, what I will do now is I will just give us some extra space so we can write all these extra stuff that will make this look like that. And because I already, all right, let's just stop. And because it's a lot of stuff, so I already wrote it. So, and that way it's not going to take a lot of time from us. And then I'll explain everything that's happening. So let's just straight away come here and I will copy some fonts and some colors, and I will explain everything after I write it. And let's come here. You don't have to worry about this. This does not affect anything of the tabs view. This is just going to affect how this text is going to appear. And we're also going to be copying a shadow. And let's move here. Okay. And we will have a scale effect. I know there's errors, don't worry about them. I'll explain everything as I go. And also, let's add a rotation effect. Now, in order to avoid all these errors, let me just explain to you why they are occurring. So it's saying here that there is an isFlipped identifier that it doesn't know, sorry, an unresolved identifier. Now all I will do for now is come at the top and I will create it by saying state var is flipped. Now if you're finding this hard to understand, I can completely get that. And I actually have a tutorial explaining what this means and how this works. This is just related to the animation, which allows us to do this and not the actual tab. If you still want to know more about this, simply head to that video and I will link that to the description. And now you can see that all the errors finally are gone. Now let's also give it a tap gesture, which allows it to react every time we tap on it. And this time we're going to copy all of it like this. All right, let's just give it a second. And now let's Command A and Control I, and that way things look much more presentable. And let's see if this will actually run. And of course it doesn't. Now this is not because you're doing something wrong, but I believe sometimes Xcode just lags because it's actually saying it's running right now. There we go. If we move here, as you can see, this works exactly how we want it. Now, notice how it's still in green. Now, that's because I actually lost the exact color that I wanted. I forgot it was like a customized color and I couldn't find it, so I left it as this color, but this will work exactly the same. Now, let me show you how we can actually make this look better. So right now this looks a bit messy, or actually really messy, and we want to make sure that this file looks presentable. So all we're going to do is simply press Command and then press on text, and we're going to say extract sub view. Now when we press that, realize how all the code we have just got summarized into this, and that's because it was all created in a different view right here. Now you realize that there's some errors, and that's because we no longer have the isFlipped object inside our class. So all we're going to do is come here, cut it, and paste it just underneath our view. And now if you just give it a second, you will notice how this is gone. There we go. Now that's actually it. So notice how we can actually do this for every single one and make it look neat, make this only the thing that appears. And this, I personally find this very convenient. So that was actually all for this tutorial. Our app now fully works, and it works exactly like this one except for that color because I'm silly and I forgot it. But everything else works. All the animations, all the views, all the navigation, and everything works. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Now this takes me about 3 hours to plan and record and decide. So please help me by subscribing or giving a like. And if you didn't like this video, I completely understand, and dislike it. And also tell me why you didn't like it. Have a good day, and I can't wait till I see you guys next.